pressure, or the same pressure as on our bodies if we were out in the water column right now. So whether you're dry or wet inside, you're still under pressure. But they're coming down for a limited dive. I see my fellow Aquanauts are getting cookies.
Oh yeah.
So do you feel heavier down there? Do you feel weighted down?
It's we're working under great pressure.
Yes, but you definitely feel your voice change.
That whistled very well. Right.
Yeah. So here.
Well, good.
This is really hard. It's very difficult.
Your voice change?
Everyone wants to do underwater.
Did anybody bring a harmonica or something? Like, you have trouble?
The playing flute is just out of the question right now.
So, since you guys are under pressure all the time, how long is your deco to come back up? Because I know during scuba diving you have to do deco if you go down for too deep.
About 14 hours.
Yeah, we feel the decompression at the end, and it's about 14 hours. A lot of it is sleep through. So it's a very convenient way to get the over at the end of the expedition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question was, what are some of the specific, I think you talked about this earlier, Sylvia, but what were some of the specific maybe hypotheses or questions that you're trying to answer with your research?
Part of it is,
No. Hang on. Yeah, DJ, can you bring the computer back down to the table there?
Yep, sure.
Thanks. 3D. DJ Roller, master of 3D underwater footage.
How's that for a steady camera operation there?
Yeah.
well, aside from the experiments that are part of the continuous record of observing the reef, it's monitoring change over time. I first came to the Florida Keys in 1953, and it was a different planet at that time in terms of the state of the coral reef, the number of fish, the health of the system. They used to eat turtles when I first came here. Well, that's changed. That's good news. The bad news is that there's been just a tremendous decline in the nature of the system as a whole. And having this system here to really look at the changes over time that reflect changes that have taken place on a global scale. This is a long-term monitoring project, if you will, with lots of individual projects, such as those that are happening here, but they all knit together to give us insight that we couldn't get 20 years ago. It's taken a project here, a project there, knowledge of how sponges function, looking at the individual polyps of the corals, doing an assessment of how many of what kind of fish are living here, and how do they behave, who eats whom, if you will. And finally, we're at that point where we can start to keep habits. And this is true on a global scale, but right here on Conch Reef, we're seeing it up close and personal on a very specific area. So things that we couldn't answer 20 years ago, we're beginning to glimpse some real insights into how things work and what we can do to take action that can help restore the health of this area that, again, provides hope for areas all over the world. And it's hard when you just do little dips in and out, as we've been forced to do in most places throughout the history of ocean exploration. It's always time. Or taking little bites here, little bites there. This place, because so much is invested over a period of years, with so many good minds representing different disciplines, I think of things that the DJ may not see, that Dale may not see, that Mark may not see, and they have different perspectives as well, that you bring here in the microcosm of the four of us, coupled with all those others who've gone before us, hundreds of scientists, we begin to really start to get some understanding. And I am so glad to have come along at this point in history, because even little kids are armed with insight, with knowledge, based on everything that has happened before at the present time, and the ability with systems such as what we're using right now to communicate. It's unprecedented.
So Sylvia, I think all of us are absolutely, thrilled by the idea of how much more you can learn from having a station like Aquarius down there on the bottom of the seafloor, building on that accumulated knowledge that you're talking about. And yet you guys were saying that the funding is in trouble, and this could be Aquarius's last mission. So people are wondering, what can we do to help? What is the hope for Aquarius to keep on going?
Use your voice. Abraham Lincoln said, if the people are with you, anything's possible. If they're not, nothing's possible. If people let their voices be heard, say, we need ocean exploration. We need the research. We need to keep the tools sharp and available. It should be a priority because really to treat the ocean, to treat the natural systems that have been so degraded in my lifetime, to treat them as if our lives depend on them, because they really do. And so who do you know? What power do you have? Use it to raise the bar and get people to appreciate what we already have available to us, and not to lose it, but rather to strengthen it. Somebody made the calculation, I love this, that our government, our federal government spends on the order of $6.8 million a minute. So to keep this whole program going, all we need is half a minute out of the annual budget to keep this and the Pisces system going too. It doesn't take that much. It takes, oh, look here.
That's awesome.
That's Brad.
I'm sure that never gets old.
God, what I wouldn't do to be there.
Yeah.
This is